It's not.
We aren't. At least over here.
I'm just refreshing the video. I don't. It says still says just waiting for you.
I'm showing live on my side.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Fast Forecast live, for once, interviewing GrieferNet. If you'd like to, if you would like to introduce yourself and what you do over at GrieferNet, we will get this party started with our inauguration of live interviews.
Well, I don't think we need much introduction. I'm pretty sure everybody knows who we are and what we do. But we're a terrorist org. Um, our bread and butter is crashing people's events in large scale, and we've been doing that for the past 4 years. I want to say 3 years is when we really started pumping them out.
Okay. So the reason why we brought you here today is because the Daymar Rally. Let's be honest. Everyone already knows you. Yeah, he said the T word. Uh, is because of the Daymar Rally. Y'all were we're going to avoid saying y'all were the headliners, but y'all definitely made an impact. Uh, we'll be honest and say.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. It's they had like four different servers, um, but we were definitely definitely made an impact on server one. That's where we that's the main server that we attacked.
Okay, well, so we'll be as so we want to be respectful of y'all as we are with everyone we're interviewing. Um, tell us a little bit about the lead up, if you can, and just basically what y'all can tell us of what went into this and the prep. Again, respecting y'all's OPSEC.
Sure. So I guess to preface everything is that we're a rather like large group, especially nowadays. And so when we're targeting events, and I'll share this, I'll give this little nugget to everybody, to any of the other orgs out there that will watch this and wondering if their events are going to be safe or not. But um, we tend to target events that's going to supply us with enough content for the amount of people that we have. So like we're not. I mean, we've done it before for the lulls, but if your event's like 5 people or something, we're probably not gonna bother with it. Um, so like Daymar Rally being like one of the biggest things annually, it's usually a no-brainer that we're gonna that we're gonna show up in some way. Um, and we've been doing that. We've hit. This is the third time we've hit Daymar Rally. Um, and then the year before last year, um, well, the Daymar before this Daymar, we hit like the practice events as well. And then in December, we hit a couple other practice events for it too. They run like these big like rehearsal events. Um, and we actually weren't planning to hit the Daymar rally this year, just because we thought it was going to be pretty unplayable. Like that was the main thing. And we had, in running up to Daymar rally this year, we've been doing like really large scale ops. Just like we're talking like there's like 80 people in our party, and like overall there's like 200 players on the field. Everyone's bringing all the caps they could possibly bring. We're all at 5 frames, and so we're a little bit tired of the 5 frames, 5 frame fights. So we were kind of maybe not looking to do Daymar rally, especially considering with all the logistics they have to do on their end, the what we call the amount. Well, I'll just say the amount of time that we have to wait for them to even start doing the event. We thought it was going to be like 5-6 hours because that's what it's been in the past, and I wasn't really feeling it this year. But circumstances happened, and the universe just really wanted us to show up this year, so that's what we did.
Okay, that's yeah. We heard that it took 3 hours for them to get started. First off, everyone who's watching the video is from Atmo. If y'all want to see the entire like 6 hour video, go over there to their to their YouTube page. So we appreciate the incredible camera work that they did. Um, so y'all weren't going to do it. What changed your mind to go do it? Because like you said, the frames were intolerable, and we've been hearing that from a lot of the racers as well.
Yeah, I can't go into exact detail of what had happened, but let's just say we always during this time of year we get people coming out of the woodwork going, knocking on our door, being like, "Hey, GrieferNet, hey, I'm in. Do you guys want to come in? I'm in so and so position and so team, yada yada," and they're just random rogue agents that just are seeking lovers of chaos that want us to show up and fuck up the server that they're going to be on. And so we just kept getting those people over and over, and then um, we infiltrated Daymar's like dedicated security Discord, like a separate Discord that they made specifically to talk to talk and discuss on how to run the security, and even more specifically how to deal with us, because we had been trashing them in their rehearsals in December and the end of November. Um, and so we infiltrated that, and that was kind of like, I would say that was probably the catalyst. Like that was the last straw. And I'm like, okay, well we have to now. I mean,
So people were messaging y'all and inviting you to cause mayhem,
oh yeah, it happens every year. Yeah.
even though you're probably going to wind up killing them.
Well, yeah, they want us to show up and just start bombing stuff. Like they bomb stuff, kill racers. They just want to see the chaos.
Oh, okay. Well, interesting. So, again, we're trying to work this so that we don't step on your operations toes too much. Just the same as we're not going to on the security guys. Um, so y'all decide to come in, and we guess y'all practiced hitting this instead of just showing up willy nilly and on race day, right? This wasn't your first. You've done this for 3 years in a row, so you pretty much know the layout.
Yeah, I mean the actual like event itself is pretty simple. They just go from Shubin to Eager Flats, and then to like one other outpost every year. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's the difficult part is getting on the server at the right time and dealing with the instability of the servers and stuff. That's like the hardest part.
Okay.
But in terms of like practicing, like we just to be clear, we didn't practice to do this. The Atmo had their own um, have like they hold their own rehearsal events, and we hit those too. Like we had intel on those as well, leading up to Daymar Rally. So this isn't Atmo's like first like uh, first experience with us in 2025. Like they like running up to this, we were hitting them pretty hard.
Okay. Okay. So the day of the race, we understand that y'all were being pulled out of the server, which meant no capitals. And then what happened? Because that didn't seem to bother y'all too much.
Oh, okay. I mean, if we're jumping into that, let's. I mean, we'll have. Let's kind of set the stage a little bit. So one of the main difficulties that we were running into when hitting Daymark this year, um, was actually getting into the server at all, and we learned that there was some CIG interference regarding that. Um, Nick Howe dash CIG. He's one of the community managers for the EU side. He's um, you'll see him a lot if you're an EU player, especially if you run big events too. He likes to be a part of that stuff. Um, but like we literally saw him like forming, like helping to form the parties, and he actually generated a new shard for Atmo. Like he generated 4 new shards for all the Atmo servers. Um, and the theory is, and we don't know for sure, like 100%, um, but the evidence is pretty staggering. Uh, it seems to us that CAG, or specifically Nick Howe, had ran like a list of players and accounts to pre-moderate, like moderate us before anything ever happened, like before people were even on the server. And so like a bunch of like pretty much the entire GrieferNet org, like anybody who'd set GrieferNet as their RSI, like main org, um, or associate even, uh, were restricted from going into the server. Like it would say server restricted, like that message. Um, and then we learned that, wait, we could only join this one other shard, and the shard was called cheerful binary, and that was like the only shard that we could get into. And we were seeing a lot of different names from other different orgs that were also like only locked to that shard all of a sudden.
We
And
were locked
everybody in
onto that shard. That's how we first heard about this. Was um, we were in there and somebody said, "Fast, why are you in the Griefer shard? What did you do?" And it's like, "What do you mean Griefer shard? I have no idea what you're talking about." And it's like, just wait till after the race is over. We'll explain it. And then we got hit with, "You need to talk to people. This is what happens." Like, oh, they, what do you mean they kicked everyone into different shards?
Yeah, yeah. And it was happening like live to like even when we were getting in with alts, like because we were able to get in eventually with just we have a lot of alts, so um, we were able to get in that way. But it was even happening to like other security forces because it was not clear, just because of the way Daymar Atmo like organized their security. Like nobody knew who each other was, and so Nick Howe CAG was actually on server one, like physically on server one, and actively moderating people as we were fighting at around Daymar. And he was actually friendly firing on Atmos security as well. He was moderating Atmos security and sanctioning them and just and locking them in that other shard, the same with the rest of us. So
That's okay. That's interesting. That it sounds like no one knew what was going on, and GrieferNet was pretty much having their job done for them.
to a degree, yeah, it just seemed like Nick Howe was painting a broad brush on what he was moderating.
It sounds like panic moderation.
Yeah, I don't think it's coincidental that the first people that were forced out of the server and had sanction enforcement placed on them was our capital pilots. I don't think it's a coincidence. They were the first people that were taken out.
Okay, so that brings us to the start with your originals being bumped into a shard that honestly we were in, which started this. Take us from there. Take us forward.
Like take you forward from
So we
like
heard that y'all came in with your capitals out of the game. We heard y'all came in with A2s and started just carpet bombing everything. Then at some point, y'all decided to take over a checkpoint and start shooting people when they came in to check in. We've heard crazy stuff. Half of it can't be true because half of it is comedy. Um, so tell us
yeah.
some of the antics.
So Daymar Rally, they have this. That's a whole other topic that we could discuss later as well. Like we can move on to that topic. The incompetence is the only word I could say of the Atmos security forces. But like they had this thing where they were setting up OM1 um, as like a checkpoint, where people were like contestants and other staff of the race were supposed to warp to and then get um, like scanned to make sure that they're like on the list and then continue on their way. We never bothered with that. We just warped directly to the outpost and just started just glassing the area and killing racers and killing the fighters that were there. Um, to note, there's like a lot of other parties involved. Like there's like little, smaller bands, like smaller groups of people that may have been, you know, there for their own devices or for their own agenda. I'm not like aware of who they all were, but that's probably what a lot of these stories are coming from. They're just like everything that's happening, it's GrieferNet, and which we're happy to take credit, I guess, but you hear that a lot.
So again, some of the things we heard, again, not all of it can be true because this would be Clown World. Was y'all showed up at the first checkpoint, shot the first guy, took his place as people were coming in. You shot them, stacked their body behind the building, and then checked people in and shot them and stacked them like cordwood. Then we heard you jump to the center point, which we guess is called Betty, blew that up and took that position. We just, from what we understood, y'all just basically owned the battlefield, and it's like that can't be a thing.
Oh, we were dominating. I mean, that's true. You know, we were dominating the space. Um, and I guess my guys are telling me I wasn't able to get in. Actually, like I was never able even to play like the game that whole time. Um, and I'm getting confirmation that yeah, that actually was us. We were stacking bodies, guys. I didn't even hear about this. This is the first time I'm hearing of this.
See, we've been talking to people, racers, organizers, security orgs, trying to get the entire story because we don't have a side in this. We just want the news. And we basically, everything we've heard was this can't be a thing. You have to be messing with me. You've got to be playing.
Man, we were going in. I mean, it was our two guys, Sierra and Soku. So the story that you're talking about, the stacking the bodies, yeah, that was our two guys, Sierra and Soku. And then there was another griefer group there that we don't know. Um, yeah, I mean, it's hard to account for everything. Like Atmos security was just completely discombobulated. They didn't know anything that was going on at all.
Okay. So y'all were stacking bodies like cordwood, blowing up checkpoints,
Yeah.
um, blowing up players, and getting banned, not banned, relocated to different servers because technically, and again, correct us if we're wrong, technically nothing you were doing was outside of the rules, like game rules.
No, no, we were all fighting outside of Armistice Zone. So I mean, it's weapons free, right? That's the understanding.
So
Um,
technically, you're playing by game rules. You're just not playing by Daymar Rally rules.
right. Well, I think something to understand is that like CIG uses Daymar Atmo like sorry Atmo the Atmo event as like a grassroots marketing thing. So like they want the players to have a certain level of like experience during that event for their marketing interests. And so what we're doing is kind of putting a damper on that, and so therefore they're moderating us. It really has nothing to do with the terms of service. Um, yeah, I mean this isn't the first time too. I mean we've hit other high profile events and it's the same story, and it only happens with these high profile, really televised events.
Well, so here's a question that y'all have to have thought of. Evidently, y'all put quite a, as an org, y'all put quite a bit of actual capital into this game. Are y'all worried about them actually closing your accounts and going, y'all have violated whatever term of service we feel like, and it's just gone?
I can't speak for the future. I mean, after 1.0, I don't know if that's something that they would look into doing, but I'm pretty sure there's like a legal roadblock. They're not able to do that without refunding us. So that's why they're not.
Okay.
They haven't. It's always been like temporary suspensions.
So y'all are staying right on that edge of technically we're not breaking TOS.
Yeah, I mean that to us, right? So like to us, CIG has drawn a line, right? And so like that's how rules work, right? Like the rules are the line. And so if we don't cross the line, we should be fine. And that's what we do. We just don't cross the line. But um I guess to CIG the line's a little bit more blurry. So
Okay, so that's an interesting point of view. Technically, and again, as we said earlier, so if they wanted this to, and that's something that we were going to get to, and I guess we can now. Now's a good time as any. Is uh, how would you, and nothing's griefer proof. How would you make this safer and kind of make this more cost prohibitive for GrieferNet to make this not worth your time?
well the ultimate solution is to make a private server for them.
Okay.
If they
Okay.
if they want 100% safety, they need to make a private server for this event. But in terms of like if we want to keep it out in the open and like and I mean that's what Atmo Esports have said in like in their post event interview. I don't know if you watched that, but
No, we
they
haven't.
said that yeah, they said they would prefer it to keep it out in the like the standard PU. Um, I'm like, okay, well, there's definitely some things that they could work on. Number one suggestion for me was they need to find a better way to communicate with between each other. Um, like that's their downfall right there. Like literally not knowing what's going on, not knowing what the left hand is doing, and the right hand's doing something else. Like they have their security is all split off in their own comms. Like they're not able to talk to each other at all. They're not in the same party or anything. So that right there, like that right there, fix that, and you'll have such better results.
Okay. Okay. So comms would be a big part. Anything else? Well, comms and a
Um,
server. Uh, yeah.
yeah, I mean that's maybe I mean maybe allow capitals because they weren't allowing capitals in the
So
airspace
so
for security.
we saw a practice run with y'all and one of the uh, security orgs that were basically dismissed, running capital against capital in a trial run, and that was intense. I mean, that kept y'all occupied, because it was Idris versus Idris, and it was a good fight. It was keeping y'all off the planet because y'all were fighting each other. And so y'all are like, hey, we want to fight. And you're like, there's an Idris. Okay, we're going to do that because that's something. And with nothing else to fight, well, you guys look fun. So by removing the big target, well, there's a bunch of little ones. Let's go do that.
Yeah. Um, I guess I would just kind of say that not allowing capitals in the airspace at Daymar is like it was a big mistake. I know they did it for like to increase frame rates, but they knew that we were coming in, so they should have had caps in there um, from the get go. Um, but even then, like just yeah, it's hard to talk about all the like tactical mishaps on Daymar Rally's security side. I mean, we could literally talk for hours about it, about every single little thing that they could have done better.
So that is something we want
But
to point out real quick. If anyone doubts what these gentlemen are saying, uh, they have sent us uh, files and videos and pages of everything to back up everything they're saying, and a lot of things are not saying. So we, at this point, have no reason to doubt anything they're telling us. If if anyone has any questions, we are 100% believing what they're telling us based on the information that they've sent. So we believe their sincerity at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't bother me if people don't like believe what we say. It's kind of it's occupational hazard of being GrieferNet. We're fine with that.
Well, there's also a so there's a double-edged sword here. A lot of people say that um, GrieferNet are a bunch of idiot children who do not know how to play the game, and we say that that is dangerous because y'all obviously do. Not just in where exactly the line lies, but also how to fly your ships. Because we've seen you fly. And y'all don't make a lot of mistakes when you fly. And y'all know how to work together. And if one of y'all blows the other one up, you don't come back angry at the person who shot you. Y'all form back up and keep going at what you were doing. Because y'all are of one mind of what you're doing. There's egos, but those are put aside to do what you're doing. The Bin
Yeah,
Laden starts
I mean,
this.
there's always bigger fish, right? I mean, there's people that are better than us in flight for sure, especially flight. Like we're not like the end all be all for flight. But we've got some really solid pilots. We've been doing this for years. Big fleet fights are our bread and butter. We've gone through the rigor. We kind of like get the gist of what works and what doesn't. Um, and one of the things that you must like, I'm gonna say it again. Like if anybody from Atmo hears this, y'all need to get y'all's communication sorted out. Um, because that's crazy. That's like the number one reason that they were so easy to handle this year. Um,
You are not the first person we've heard that from, and not just from GrieferNet point side. We've heard it from numerous sides. Um, One of the thoughts we had that might keep y'all occupied was bring the UE Navy in, have them stationed up, and just park them there and shoot at y'all. Keep you occupied with the Navy.
like NPCs, like spawn in a bunch of
Yes,
NPCs. You mean?
yeah.
Okay.
Bring them in with the javelins and Idrises and anything that comes in this airspace. Shoot them, shoot them a lot, and make it dangerous for anything after X time to come in to keep it occupied. So if y'all have to come through a bunch of missiles, torpedoes, and weapons fire, you still might do it. But then is it cost effective to do it in these ships that are still big enough to cause damage on the surface, but fast enough to get through this blockade?
Yeah. I mean, also, it would have serviced them to have someone in their employ, like a group of proven PvPers. Because I'm looking through the list of like the orgs that made up their security, and like all. I mean, Quantum Jump Medical is one of the leaders of their security, and it's a medical org.
Yeah,
Um,
we saw that, and it's like, okay,
yeah. Uh, I mean, I guess it's kind of hard. There's not that many orgs these days. They've been kind of been the amount of like org diversity has decreased in the last year or so. Um, but like Shadow Moses, AVS, even like Mostly Harmless or 388 or Cinderborn or these people who have known like pilots who are decent, you know. If not even just for like the consultation, you know, like for instance, I'll give you an example. One of the things that they were talking about in the security Discord um, that we had infiltrated was like they're like, oh guys, what we need to do is we need to put mantises at all the OMs, and that'll prevent them from killing our racers. And like any PvPer out there would just immediately think like, how what? You could warp to outposts directly
Yeah, you
without
don't
having
need
to
a
go
OM.
OMs.
Yeah, OMs
Like
are like
yeah, no,
10
like
patches ago.
that's a bit of low hanging fruit. But that's an example, Like if they had like a PvPer, an actual PvPer in that in that Discord, he would have shot all this shit down immediately. You know, like no, that's not gonna work, and here's why. You know, yeah, they
You,
weren't set
you're
up for
you're you're
success.
you're right, of course. That's a gimme to anyone who's ever done that. We would have put up some AA guns along the course with some ballistas and other small arms to take stuff down.
Yeah,
Just gimmies. Not just ships in the air because ships run out of fuel, need to go back, get bored, whatever. But anti-air, especially around checkpoints. Where places where people are going to cluster up and be headed towards things that can target for a distance, but you have to be up close to target back because vehicles need. You only can target them within a kilometer because they're so small. So, but you can reach out and touch people at much further distances with them.
well, I'm gonna push back on that a little bit. I don't. Vehicles are not that strong, like even as anti-air.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
If it was me, I wouldn't dedicate any manpower to fielding like anti-air vehicles.
Blue-haired lady. So we haven't done PvP in a while. We've been doing traffic weather news for a bit. Once upon a time, uh, once upon a time we did, but it's been a while. We've hung out with pirates a bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there was one time where ballistas were like when they had like 50-meter lock-ons with the scimitars that came stock with them. That was pretty cancerous for a little while, especially because they had really good tracking and were pretty fast. Um, and actually, Cold Kill, he was in Vanguard back then. I don't know if you know that name, but uh, he was a PvP persona that was commonplace. You'd see him around. And his go to when GrieferNet first started kind of skirmishing with them, he was always in a fucking Ares with scimitars, and it was annoying. Um, so yeah, he literally just flew the Ares just for the scimitars, and it was just because the scimitars were so good. So I mean, you put them on a ballista and they're still good. But that was way back. That was previous flight model even. Ground vehicles haven't really been meta for, gosh, I don't know how long.
Okay. See, and this is why we come to the people who know.
Yeah. Um, I do want to circle back a little bit because some of my guys are reminding me of
Oh,
some things. But
okay. Please do.
so like, so like Daymar Rally, another couple of things that I would like. Here's another things, a couple of other things that they restricted themselves. Like they said no, only teams could only have one fighter for like their escort. You know, if it doesn't, it's just one fighter is not going to do a whole lot. Okay, and especially because like that one fighter is not in anybody else's party but their own, and so they're not working with anybody. They're just alone. They're just a lone wolf, and they're just by themselves with no support. And then number two, like they wouldn't allow their security to go below 1 kilometer to the ground.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that was a rule. That was a rule that they made.
That's that doesn't make any sense.
I mean, you said it. Like I agree. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so basically, what you have are a few fighters for backup that aren't talking to each other, are easy pickings because they're probably light fighters. You have a security that has a floor that once you dive below it, they're not coming after you. And anything below that floor is cake.
Yeah, I mean, especially when our objective are people on the ground. Like
That's
our targets were the racers. So
I may start drinking.
yeah, I mean it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think a lot of their decisions, a lot of their questionable like security decisions, they're trading security for like better frame rate. Like they're trying to squeeze as much frame rate as they can, and so like a lot of their decisions are made to get better frame rate. Um, but it just means that their events like not very defensible.
That makes a lot of sense. They're trying to trade because the amount of people that they had, if they do security, they're going to lose frames, and then it becomes a PowerPoint show.
Yeah, yeah,
But again, probably the best idea is the one you had, which is lock it into a private server or just desync the entire race just a little bit, because we've all had those instances where you go to interact with something and you can see a marker for it, but you can't interact with it. And they could do that to basically everyone in the entire race, and nothing could touch them. It just solutions.
So what? So desync. I guess I'm not sure what you mean. So desync
So
the racers.
yes, basically take all the racers. And you probably had it happen where you're in a party and you can see the marker for your other party member, but you can't see them. So they have
Okay.
to log out and come back in, and then you can see them fine. But as long as they were there, especially if you're on Discord, you can see them. You can see them on the Discord screen, but you can't see them on your screen until they log out and come back in.
Okay.
Instancing.
And
Sorry,
you're
instancing.
saying you're saying that would help them.
Yeah, so basically, you wouldn't know exactly where they are. They'd be slightly out of sync or slightly out of instance. Uh, Anyone coming in would just see an empty desert and have nowhere to lock it or nothing to aim at until they're done. And then you just basically re-instance the whole thing to bring them back into alignment. Yeah, it's. Oh, I don't need to.
That's a that,
I
that
get
that's
news.
a,
I
that's
don't
a
care.
new one. That's a new one for me. I'm not sure if that's how it would play out. I'm not even sure if that's.
I'm trying to think outside the box because the other option is PowerPoints.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't need to learn how to PvP. I
I
get news
I
out
think
of it. If it bleeds, it leads.
I think if they give them a private server, I mean that alone is going to improve their frame rate. I don't. Um, but otherwise, there's not a real easy solution to that. Um, just because of how just how the game's coded, and it's just not very optimized at all.
That's also a good point. It's really not.
Um,
Is there anything else you'd like to throw in at this point? Because basically we have bad communications, uh, bad security planning, bad ROE.
yeah, I think they get the gist. I think I've said all I wanted to say in terms of how on how to improve for the next year.
Okay, well, so
So,
y'all were very helpful on this. Is there anything you'd like to say about GrieferNet? Because y'all were big help on this in getting your side of this. Is there anything y'all would like to say?
yeah, so not about GrieferNet per se, but I do want to make a message to like the rest of the PvP community if they watch this, um, is and I guess to Atmo specifically, I'm like, what? I understand CIG like moderating us in this way. Like, yeah, we're kind of miffed about it. It's not very like we're playing within the rules. Why are we having our account access revoked or being locked into a certain server or whatever? We're just shooting our weapons outside of our armor system like anyone else is able to do, and it is allowed by the game. So I'm not sure. Like we're miffed. We're kind of we're miffed about that, but we can understand from like a business point of view. Like CIG's doing that because they're in their minds what we're doing is affecting their bottom line, and they didn't like the optics, and it was hurting their marketing ploy in this circumstance, right? So CIG aside, I'm not even that mad about CIG. Okay, what I'm more concerned with is the the PvP communities and just the greater community as a whole. Um, Likelihood of just stooping to like reporting or like reporting or going to CIG to get them to like um, just use their admin powers to make sure that their open world sandbox event is not messed with at all or making it very difficult to. And like no like I see other PvP other PvPers hanging out with these people, you know, supplying like here guys, here's a list, share this around. These are the guys that I saw shooting us outside of an armistice zone. Make sure you submit this to CIG support. And by the way, I made a report template as well, so you don't even have to type anything. You just send out the same template that we're all using. We're gonna mass report them, and everybody's okay with this. Like most people are okay with it, um, especially when it's directed at GrieferNet. Like as long as it's happening to GrieferNet and nobody else or not them, then it's fine, and it's not. And they're a okay with just being in a culture in a PvP community where just you're just reporting or getting CAG to abuse their admin powers to circumvent organic sandbox PvP. Um, and so I just want to say, like, shame on these people, man. You know, um, like, is that like other PvPers? Is that like the the environment that y'all want to play in? Where like at any point, if you're PvPing too successfully, the other party is just gonna report you and then potentially get your account access taken away just because you shot them, you killed them too fast or too often, you know, or you shot or they killed you and you had a particularly strong emotional reaction to it, um, and like if that's not the environment that y'all want to like support, like if y'all want to be able just to PvP in a sandbox PvP game, then it would be nice to see other PvPers um, tell the people around them who I know that they're witnessing this coming from, um, like, yo, bro, reporting is lame. Why are you doing that? Like, criticize them. I would like to see that happen.
Okay, fair enough. Is there anything else that GrieferNet would like to say? That's my ending soapbox, bro. Just give y'all a fair chance. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this section of the investigation into what happened at the Daymar Rally. GrieferNet, thank you for coming on and giving us your side. From all of us here at Fast Forecast, fair winds and